What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Oof. Is it Friday yet? What up, friends and family? Is it Friday yet? Can we get started with the show? I got a hell of a show set up for you guys today. And I think that towards the end of it, it might get a little bit more controversial. I'm not even going to kid you. Towards the end of it, it might get a little bit more controversial because I have a different position on a specific subject that I think that we're going to wind up talking about, that I have a feeling that the Blackity Blacks is probably going to severely disagree with me on about. But we'll get there. We'll talk about it. What's going on, friends and family? How do y'all feel today? Ari says, thank God it's Friday. Oh my God. I don't know. Every day is like the same for me. Every day is like the same for me. You know, I was telling Rita this morning, I was telling her because she was showing me a picture of a guy, I guess that we had went to school with a long time ago. I don't recognize him. I don't think I remember him or anything like that, but I don't know. I have no clue. But he's a nerd or whatever, right? And so I'm assuming that he's still single based off of what Rita was describing to me. And then she was like, yeah, such and such said that they had went out with him and then that they wound up not rocking with him or whatever. I guess it was another girl that we know that had went out with him or whatever, right? And so again, he seems like a cool guy, like he got a regular job and all of that. And you know I'm an advocate for my guys or whatever. I'm gonna move that over there and plug that up. That's my work computer. Um, but he seems like a cool guy, and I'm an advocate for my guys and stuff like that. But you know, he's a nerd, and he's always, you know, based off of what she showed me, talks about love and how he can't find love. And you got to remember, we the same age, so he's probably 40, 41. We graduated together, maybe even 42. I don't know, but again, he's a nerdy guy or whatever, and he has a stable job from all that I can see, and all of that, right? And I was telling Rita, I said, man, y'all are so trash. And she just started laughing. She was cracking up. I said, y'all so trash. She said, what are you talking about? I said, women are so garbage. I said, but I understand y'all. And that's the thing that I'm trying to teach my guys is how to understand y'all, because I said, that's the type of guy that y'all should be with. And she was like, she started turning up her face like, oh no, whatever. I said, I know what y'all want. She said, what do y'all? She said, what do we want? I said, y'all want bad guys. Y'all want toxic. Y'all want that guy. That guy. I'm not gonna go into all that I said, but I said y'all want that guy. And so she just started cracking up. And she agreed with me. She agreed with me because the nature of a woman is just the nature of a woman. Look, man, I know that I teach my guys a lot of things and I kick it with y'all, and I know that it's a lot of women that's gonna be in the comments and stuff like that, like, we want the good guy. Listen, you can't finesse me. You can't BS me. I'm not going for it. You don't. You can't. You won't. You love it. You love what comes along with that other side. You really, really do. And so you just can't help yourself. I said that's just the nature of a rebellious spirit, and we've seen it since Eve that women have a rebellious spirit. But this is not Wednesday, so I'm not gonna go into it. I'll just be giving y'all a little bit of insight of what it is that I be talking about sometimes and the conversations that we've been having. Because the stuff that I be seeing, I be thinking to myself, like, what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Like, seriously, y'all genuinely do not want the guy that's probably best for you. It's weird. It's weird. Y'all will reject him. Like it's a good guy out there for y'all. It really is a good guy out there for y'all. No, AR Taylor, you are wrong. They do not want multiple guys. They want to be the side chick of a dude like me. I'm keeping it 100% real. Listen, you don't want the guy that's gonna love you. You want to be my part time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I'm toxic. I'm toxic. I'm toxic everywhere. I'm toxic in the bedroom. I'm toxic with my behavior. Like, real talk. Like, I'm a nice guy. I'm a good guy, but I've had to adjust and adopt different ways that allow for me to be a little bit more different, and that ain't what y'all want. Y'all want something completely different. Y'all would rather trade him in for one of me. You could have him. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But we make room. We gonna figure it out. Let's go ahead and get started with the show, shall we? Shall we get started with the show? Um, let me read the Cash App. Make sure that we ain't got nothing in here that. Shout out to Daryl Pullins for the best content creator on the planet. I appreciate you, Daryl, holding me down. That was from late. And then I got my dog, Mike, that dude is in the building. Shout out to Mike, that dude. Man, I love y'all. I'm going to also acknowledge a couple super chats, and we're going to take our time and cook up today. Getting better each day says, Time Dog, I'm in a sales job making $65,000, already pacing above my number. At minimum will be at 130 at the end of the year. At minimum will be at 130. I'm 26. A bit tired of sales. Should I finish my accounting degree and begin that career path? I was thinking about. I was looking at a clip from Dave Ramsey where a woman was basically saying that she was looking to retire or she was looking to slow down. And I had a come to Jesus moment. And that was earlier this morning after I was taking my daughter to school and we was listening to it together. And I told my daughter, I said, I'm probably never going to retire. I say that to say that if you are a super productive, busy person, then you're going to stay busy. I can't see a pathway to retiring. Look, me being here every day. As much as I love my family and stuff, I don't even know how I survived the pandemic for as long as I survived it before I moved over to Florida, because I have to be busy. I have to be outside. I have to be productive. I have to go out there and shooting it. So if you want to lower your standard of living in your life in order to try to slow things down, and that's fine, but I always believe in being highly productive, making the most money possible, and staying busy. And I think that that's where life is being busy. The minute that people start slowing down is the minute that you start dying, in my opinion. And you're only 26-year-old. How you going to be tired of sales and you're only 26 years old? You can't be tired of anything at 26. You just getting started. Most people just not getting out of college in order to start to get a job. So I don't see anything wrong with, of course you should finish your degree. 100%, right? Like, why would you start it and not finish it? So you can do more than one thing at a time. Yes, finish your degree. Also continue to be productive. And then if you really want to slow down and make the investments where you can reward yourself and start to live the life that you want to live, as far as slowing down and letting your assets pay for your lifestyle. So that's what I would tell you. Shout out to you. I appreciate you for the channel. Delayed Dopamine says, yo, it's W2 season. This is your annual opportunity to change your trajectory for the better or fumble. That's a fact. I'm going to do a video and I'm going to break down exactly what y'all need to be doing with y'all tax return. 42 and about to get finessed. Kung Fu Hustler says they want the dude who's going to knock him in between the washer and the dryer, as Dat Boy Will says. Shout out to Dat Boy Will. I appreciate you, Kung Fu Hustler. Y'all ready to go ahead and get started with the show? Let me first and foremost say I appreciate y'all for continuing to rock out with me. Also, Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. The link is in the description. Shout out to the Teach. If you are not a part of the Patreon, we got Stock Club coming up this weekend. It's a lot of things that I got on the agenda that I want to talk about, that I want to mine out for you guys to be able to readjust your portfolio and making sure that you're getting the maximum amount out of it. I plan on having a discussion. It's largely going to leapfrog off of the last Stock Club that we just did. If you are not a part of Stock Club in the Patreon, make sure you tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We've got a lot of things coming. My girl, Ari Reed says, good morning, AD. I was hearing you needed an assistant. I would love the opportunity to email you my resume if you want to take a look at it. All right, Ari. Anton Daniels 413@gmail.com. I need a full profile picture too. No, I'm just playing. I appreciate you. Yes, you can send me that if you want to. Shout out to Ari. Yeah. I only like beautiful ladies on my roster to work for me, all right? They call me a chauvinist. If that's what they want to define me as, I'm just a person that like to have sweet spirits around me, if you know what I mean. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Is there anything wrong with being a masculine man that loves beautiful women? Why they try to act like that's such a bad thing? Let me go ahead and get into it. I might do after hours tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to do after hours probably tonight. I'm assuming maybe tonight. But we'll see how that plays out. Let's go ahead and get into quick hits, y'all. Quick hits is a segment of the show that we don't necessarily think it needs or we have to dedicate a lot into it as far as an entire segment to it, but we definitely want to keep you guys up to date. I'm going to continue to read super chats throughout the show. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. You are very much appreciated. First and foremost, I was not even aware of this, but apparently they got a minimum wage hike as a part of Brandon Johnson's agenda over in Chicago. Take a look.
The Federal Reserve released a new report this week that finds low-income workers are worse off than before the pandemic. Today in Washington, Mayor Brandon Johnson's One Fair Wage ordinance is being praised as a way out of poverty.
When the cost of getting to work costs you more than what you earn when you get there, it's a very rational economic decision to say no to that job.
Brandon Johnson in D.C. for the Conference of Mayors, being hailed today for his passage this past fall of the One Fair Wage ordinance, which raises the minimum wage for tipped workers in Chicago by 8% per year over the next 5 years.
By increasing these wages, we are not only eliminating the reliance on tips to make a decent living, We are also working to address the restaurant industry's staffing crisis.
Mayors from several battleground states on hand vowing to follow Chicago's lead, along with business leaders who have heard the struggles from their younger workers, particularly in the restaurant industry.
It is one of the last industries that is still behind the times, still relies on the goodwill of a customer walking through the door, and whether they have a little bit of change in their pocket, they could leave for the worker.
Johnson believes raising the minimum wage in battleground states is a key to victory in this election year.
Workers are voters. And with a new generation of voters coming to the polls, we must listen to and address the challenges and concerns that they are raising.
Maybe you should listen to the concerns that they're raising as far as continuing to embrace and fund this migrant crisis instead of disassociating yourself with being a sanctuary city. Because those type of people are voters also. Oh, hold on. Let me switch my microphone. We good? All right, cool. So, yeah, Brandon Johnson is being hailed, heralded, loved, embraced, and being championed as the mayor of the future because of his dedication to make sure that he's raising a minimum wage and continuing to destroy the fabric of his state. So that's Brandon Johnson. Anyways, continuing on, Ohio is joining along with other states in banning minor gender care for trans people. Take a look, ladies and gentlemen.
We've got breaking news. The Ohio Senate just voted to override the governor's veto of a bill that will restrict medical care for transgender minors. The bill will also block transgender girls from playing in female sports. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa is following the latest for us. So, Maggie, what kind of impact will this bill have, and when is it going into effect?
Yeah, so as you pointed out, Sinclair, this is kind of a two-pronged bill. It's a combination of bills that were introduced separately and then combined, passing with a supermajority in the Senate and the House, then vetoed by the governor, and they have now overridden that veto. So in 90 days, when this goes into effect, essentially this spring, this will prevent minors from getting any kind of gender-affirming care that includes hormone blockers, therapy, those kinds of things. And it will also prevent girls and women from, transgender girls and women, I should say, from competing on high school and collegiate athletic teams, basically women's sports in the state of Ohio. This vote came today after we heard dozens of lawmakers on both sides of the issue effectively stand up and say why they were going to vote the way they did. Here are two examples of what we just heard. Take a listen.
Despite what the liberals say, gender is not assigned at birth, but rather from the moment of conception, you are either male or you are female. And there is no such thing as gender-affirming care.
I find it very disconcerting that we stand here and make bold statements and not really understand or accept the fact that someone has their own autonomy and being able to make choices about their own medical care or how they want to be seen in this world.
Now, we should point out Ohio's governor, if you're keeping track, is a Republican, Mike DeWine. He had vetoed that bill not because he's against banning gender-affirming care of any sort. He basically said he drew the line at surgery, and he has since introduced his own executive order banning surgery for minors. Now this bill takes care of all kinds of gender-affirming care.
So, me personally, sometimes I would like to identify as a turtle and go into my shell. Other times I would like to identify as a billionaire and go spend a bunch of money and buy a big mansion. But guess what? Reality then sets in and says, Anton, guess what you are? You are what you are based off of what you are and what God assigned for you to be. And that's just the end of the conversation. It's just the facts. I am not personally a person that believes that a man should be able to, or a biological male should ever be able to participate in women's sports. I don't even know where they're getting these phrases from. A gender affirming care. You know that words mean things, right? And I don't have to affirm what I don't believe in. And we're not going to continue to run up the check and spend money and waste legislation dollars on things that, in my opinion, that is very black and white, but for some reason our delusion and the fact that we keep letting all of these people that don't know any better get the microphone, and then they determine what's happening in our laws, our schools, our sports, and even what's happening in the surgery room. To have children, to force children, to put children in a position to justify how they feel before they've even gotten to the age to where their brain is fully developed, but we making permanent decisions on their bodies and we calling it gender affirming care is crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. So for whatever reason, I guess I'm in the minority and that I'm delusional in this world and that people can do whatever they want to do when they want to do it, and we just supposed to believe them just because they said it. And so just because you identify as a black man and you a white woman, I'm supposed to actually believe that. Where do you draw the line? Can you change your race? Can you change your culture? Can you change is it just gender? So shout out to Ohio, not necessarily to the governor of Ohio, but shout out to Ohio for standing on business. And then last but not least, as indicated in the last quick hits, Alabama, because we were anticipating it happened, but it actually happened yesterday afternoon. Alabama became the first state with nitro asphyxiation as a part of their death penalty and putting a man away that obviously had been on death row for the last 35 years and they had botched it the first time, and so they needed to get it done this time. That happened yesterday, and it's setting off a wave of different descriptions and ways and emotions and all of that. And so I got a couple different clips for you guys that describe what it was like and whether or not people are agreeing or disagreeing with this way to put somebody away. Take a look, this first one.
Following the flow of nitrogen gas, Kenneth Smith laid on the gurney and shook for about 2 minutes, shaking and writhing on that gurney. The gurney did move several times there. Following that shaking on the gurney, there were several minutes, about between 5 and 7 minutes, according to media witnesses, of heavy breathing on the gurney. Several minutes later, a correctional officer did walk up to Kenneth Smith and appear to look over at his face. He did not touch Kenneth Smith or actually do anything that media witnesses were able to see to Kenneth Smith, but he did lean over and look at him for several minutes before walking back to the wall to return to his post there. At about 8:08, movement appeared to stop, and there was no perceptible breathing from Kenneth Smith. The curtains to the execution viewing room closed at 8:15 p.m. Central Time, and Governor Ivey pronounced death at 8:25 Central Time. One thing that Kenneth Smith's attorneys were very afraid of is that he might vomit into the mask. He did not show any signs of vomiting there into the mask. Also, the Alabama Attorney General's office had said in prior court filings that they expected him to lose consciousness pretty quickly after that gas began to flow, but media witnesses saw that Kenneth Smith appeared to be conscious for several minutes after that gas began to flow, again before he proceeded to shake and writhe on that gurney for about 2 minutes. Again, that 2 minutes of shaking and writhing on the gurney was followed by about 5 to 7 minutes of heavy breathing.
So one of the things that they're saying is that he was trying to hold his breath. That's one of them. Because I guess the way that it happened is just a mask that was attached to his face. It caused him to lose consciousness, and then obviously it takes him and puts him out of his misery. His spiritual leader had a different take and a completely different perception of what happened, because they say that his body shook for like a couple minutes after they started administering it again, which nobody really knows whether he was really trying to hold his breath or not. But then they're also saying in different reports that I read across different sites that it was involuntary body movement after he was already put to sleep, right? So his spiritual leader and one of his great friends had a completely different take on what happened. Take a look to his description of it. We're not going to play the full description because it's longer than I want it to be. But take a look at his description of it and y'all tell me what y'all think.
I know witnessed this. I think that anybody that witnessed this knows that we didn't see someone go unconscious in 2 or 3 seconds. We didn't see somebody go unconscious in 30 seconds. What we saw was minutes of someone struggling for their life. We saw minutes of someone heaving back and forth. We saw spit We saw all sorts of stuff from his mouth develop on the mask. We saw this mask tied to the gurney and him ripping his head forward over and over and over again. And we also saw correction officials in the room who were visibly surprised at how bad this thing went. I know that Commissioner Ham, I know that ADOC is going to come out here and say, well, this is what we thought was going to happen. Look at their court filings. This is not what they thought was going to happen. Kenny Smith was by no means a perfect person. And I think it is absolutely disgusting that the state of Alabama has allowed this moment to overshadow the memory of Elizabeth Stinnett.
So obviously we knew that this was going to happen, as far as there was going to be a lot of differing opinions on what's right, what's wrong, what's humane, what's not. I don't have an opinion on it either way. I haven't really delved into what my thoughts would be with regard to that, because I guess it's not something that's ever really hit home. But in a general sense, there is a lot of debate on the different methods and this particular method that they use in order to take the dude out. Again, he was getting 3 hots in a cot for over 35 years after he was sentenced. I believe he was sentenced back in the 80s. They saying 1988 is when he was sentenced, so he lived practically a full life, well beyond whoever it was the victim was. And even the family, I seen a video of the family saying that they have forgiven him because they wanted to be more Christ-like. So this is a debate that will continue to rage on. It's never going to stop. It's been happening since I can remember. But ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hits. Let me read some of the super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and get it popping with the show, because I got a lot of things that I want to go over today. AD, do you see the media pushing polygamy? Also sent an email of 3 people on 1 scooter, and it looks wild. You sent an email of 3 people on 1 scooter? I do think the media, well, you got to remember that the media is comprised of stories and things that people want to be entertained by. So I don't think it's the media. I think that the media, similar to politics, is just based off of what people are looking to hear and a reflection of what's going on in society, right? So I think that the media I think that people are pushing polygamy. I think that people are doing. I think people want to continue. Look, what we going to see in these days is we're going to continue to see the worst of what it is that we are proliferate through society and in the culture. It's going to get worse before it ever gets better. You're going to see men being women, women being men. Everything is perverted and perversion. What we think is right and wrong is going to be right. Men going to be playing in women's sports. We going to call it dysphoria. Every single thing that you do that's wrong is a disease attached to it, instead of you just needing to get the devil up out of you. There is no rules anymore. We don't have any kind of spirituality, and it's going to be a dividing line, similar to where you're going to have no middle class. There's no middle road. It's going to be rich and poor. It's going to be right and wrong, and whatever side of the fence that you stand on, that's what it is that you're going to have to answer for. So I think that is just a reflection of what we see happening in society, honestly. Yoshi 504 in the building says, just starting to lock you into the show, and you are inspiring to change my life. Future bag chaser here. What you waiting for the future for? You should be a bag chaser now. Shout out to all of my bag chasers. Shout out to Yoshi 504. I appreciate you. Ari Reed says she just sent an email. Shout out to Ari. I appreciate you. All right, cool, baby. Chris J says, round of applause for Ohio. Mo Better says, hey, AD, good morning. Thanks for providing such an uplifting platform. Blessings to you and your family. Thank you, Mo Better. Mo Better Blues in the building. Counselor Mr. G. He only showed up on Friday. He says, salute, bro. I haven't been here since last year. How are you and the family? To answer your question, Simps busted women down like toxic masculine men. like us loving, beautiful women. Shout out to my dog, Counselor Mr. G, showing back up from last year. I don't know where he been at, but thank you for being here. Trey D is in the building, says Texas leads the way. So all other states can grow up here and make the right decision. We're going to get to that. I got that in the works. Antonio Watkins says, shout out to Blessings for Ohio. Shout out to my people over there in OHIO in the building. Global Chef, I appreciate you, says, happy Aloha Friday. He bragging on us because he got that good weather. Friday, AD and family, looking forward to Stock Club this weekend. Peace and blessings. Thank you, my friend, for holding me down. Jay Boogie hit us with 3 balls, says, video game control. Oh, shout out to you. I appreciate you. He also hit us with another super sticker. Thank you, my dog. And then another super sticker. Thank you, Jay Boogie. Let me get him a round of applause. Thank you, Jay Boogie. Hot Candy is still rocking with us in the 2024. Said, I sent you an important email you must watch. All right, well, let me put that on my agenda. I got you, Hot Candy. I love candy anyway. Self-Made Forever says, 80, what is your thoughts on Canada government starting assistant self-deletion this year and where you can volunteer to self-delete? I disagree with it. I disagree with the government getting involved in those personal type of decisions. Now, because I am a Christian, I do not believe in suicide, but then at the same time, I don't believe in a lot of things, but I can't control what happens in Canada, nor do I have an opinion what happens in Canada because I'm not in Canada and I'm not from Canada. So I kind of just stand on business when it comes to the United States of America. But I disagree. I think that allowing people to take themselves out is not the government's role, and I think that they need to step out of that. So I disagree 100%. I have to take a second to think about things before I answer. I can't just answer right away. Martin Meck, I'm going to get to you last. JP says, 80, did you see the 5 baby mama and Biden email? I haven't seen it yet. I'm going through it. I got Rita going through it. D. Got Saul says, 80, I've been streaming lately on StreamYard. Can you give me some tips on settings, mics, and how you gathered your topics? All love, my guy. I'd have to do a Patreon video on that. I got to do a Patreon video on that. So maybe I'll do a separate live stream on Patreon, just on streaming in general about YouTube, and we'll go from there. So shout out to you, D. Got Sauce. I don't use StreamYard except for on Monday nights when I have to have and give controls to somebody else. So I don't use StreamYard at all, but I rock with you. Can I get a round of applause? And shout out to the Chasers and my chat uncle, Kojak. The great, watching how y'all move is enough game to change lives of multiple generations. May God bless the Chasers, the Daniels family, and those that seek change as I was blessed or greater. Come on, man. Come on, look at all of these people continuing to hold it down and look at all of these blessings. Y'all know I don't be asking for super chats, but people see value in what we do and ultimately what it is that we do in the Bag Chasers and the Patreon. I can't control it. I can't control it. All I can do is acknowledge it. So I absolutely appreciate you for pouring back into the platform if you see value in what it is that we doing here. Josh McLean said he just passing through and he going to drop that 2 balls on the clip. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate you, Josh. Listen, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All of my friends and family, I very much appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and get into the thick of things since we now done with quick hits because we got a few different things that we want to address. And you know the first thing that we always address is crime and culture, right? And so the first thing that people are really, really upset about is what's happening in Chicago, okay? What's happening in Chicago, what's happening in New York, what's happening across the board. And I think that this is something that's interesting, and I wanted to share with you guys.
All this going down in Queens after officials say they received a wave of quality of life complaints from residents. Fox 5's Kendall Green live in Jackson Heights, Queens with the latest. Kendall.
Hey, good evening, Natasha and Teresa. Overnight, Mayor Adams and city officials say they were outside of massage parlors just like this one where they witnessed the illegal activity for themselves. And they say they moved in quickly this afternoon to shut this shop down along with several others. Dozens of NYPD officers prepped at the 115th precinct for a mission to shut down at least 6 brothels in Queens, operating under the guise of massage parlors. Mayor Adams and law enforcement officials scoped out the operation hours before making the official call Thursday morning to take the parlors down.
We all know what sex trafficking is about, and it's important to focus on the brothels who are creating this climate.
Police stormed into one Jackson Heights parlor around 4:45, where neighboring businesses celebrated the takedown after months and months of complaints.
Finally, we are happy because they start standing in front of our door is a big mess for us.
Rajbir Kaur says she saw ladies luring men into the dimly lit prostitution parlor, lined with curtains and beds. This resident says he and his neighbors were well aware of what was going on within the walls of the shop.
All what I see is just girls calling the customers saying massage, and sometimes they even grabbing the customers inside. That's what I see a lot.
Mayor Adams, following the police sweep, briefed reporters on the message the city hopes to send. City Councilman Francisco Moya, who represents the community, tipped off police to the sex trafficking in the area. He says the brothels had parents in the community uneasy, knowing they were operating within just feet of a school.
What we saw in there is deplorable conditions.
Sex trafficking is real, and it's these horrid conditions. This makes it clear why the New York City Police Department, we're not going to sit idly by and pretend that as though that it does not happen.
Now, so far, owners and workers at the alleged sex trafficking shops remain unidentified, and charges connected with this sting remain unknown. That's the latest from Jackson Heights. Kendall Green, Fox 5 News.
Okay, so let's hold off for 1 second. Let's back up. As we see Mayor Adams over in New York walking by, giving briefings, right? When we see the people, the surveillance footage, all of this stuff. Do y'all remember a little while ago, where I was talking about and I was breaking down how Mayor Adams was saying that it was very difficult to be able to shut these places down. Now, all of a sudden, they showing up and they got all of this energy and this smoke for what's happening, although they knew what the issue was and they've been talking about what the issue is for a long time now. I did a whole segment on this a while ago where they were talking about and they were having conversations about how difficult it was for them to deal with this brothels that they've known about for a long time. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, give me a second, because I might be able to find it. Because, see, if y'all are just going to get finessed and y'all just going to let them do these photo ops, we know that the mayor is never inside of the police department. We know that he's saying, oh, we're not just going to sit idly by. They just got a tip that these brothels was just out there. Man, if you don't shut that down.
Is this a situation that needs to be addressed? Is it impacting this neighborhood? There are several communities involved in a very negative way, and businesses.
Yes, and I would love to take a trip with you over there and show. I went out. This was brought to my attention by local leaders a few months ago, and I went out there.
This is months ago that I showed this exact same video, and I did another accompanying video of him basically speaking and saying, listen, we aware of the problem. There's migrants out there that's doing this, and we know about it. We just can't do anything to shut it down. And now they acting like, oh, man, we got a tip, and we just going in there right now. He just so happened to show up at the police department, and now they about to go in there and shut these places down over in Queens, New York. I knew about it, and I ain't even been into Queens. I did whole reports about this thing. Let's see what he was saying back then.
I think around about 1:30 a.m., and it was clear that there were illegal activity taking place there. And this is where idealism collides with realism. While we are fighting to address the issues of sex workers, sex trafficking, there are elected officials who are fighting against us, trying to legalize sex work. They believe it is a victimless crime, And I've had elected officials tell me that the women are just trying to work while you trying to harm them. There are real issues around illegal sex work, not only from STDs to sex trafficking, to young girls getting involved with it, to violence. So people who don't understand how serious this is, they are impeding our progress.
We had heard that some of the Venezuelan women that are coming in might have been part of this now, this increasing population.
Our intel is telling us there's a level of accuracy to that.
So you got intel. You've been familiar with it. You know that it's been going on. Now y'all want to give some credit to somebody and put them up there and say, hey, listen, we got a tip yesterday, and now we running in today. Man, these places been operating without any kind of problems for a long time. I did a whole segment on where school children, they be calling the mayor's office, they call the police department, they say they can't do nothing about it. You telling me that you got intel on it, and now all of a sudden y'all showing up. You know what? We're not just going to sit idly by. When we got a tip, we came in immediately in order to clean it up. Man, don't y'all know that this is an image issue? That they trying to make sure that he get the right image so that he can look good for his upcoming election because he's been looking so bad with regard to the migrant crisis?
And this is Mary, this is what happens when you create an atmosphere that people can't provide for themselves. You can't work illegally. You can't carry out your job. When I talk about the spiraling impact of how this is going to impact our city, this is what I'm talking about. It is going to impact the foundation of the quality of life of our.
So y'all know that this is all a finesse, man. Look, everything that you see and every camera that's in front of your face is not necessarily painting an accurate picture of what you're looking at. It's not, bro. It's all a finesse. He come in there and he's standing in there. And listen, I applaud the fact that you cleaned it up, but that's supposed to be what they doing in the first place, is cleaning it up. And the people around there is like, finally, it's happening. And then another tip. For all of these people that's running these brothels, you got to stop having the same finesse. It's the same thing. Oh, man, we just a massage parlor. All across the United States of America, it's all the same. Massage parlor, but don't nobody speak English, barricaded door. All of a sudden, it's only men going in there with hats down low like this. Thai massage parlor, Venezuelan massage parlor with happy ending in really small letters next to it. And everybody know what it is. And we sitting there like, so ain't nobody gonna say nothing? Everybody just gonna come in there and get finessed? And what kind of man are you? What kind of dude are you, right? Think about it. You really taking a risk. You gonna take a risk. You gonna just wing it. I'm gonna just go in here anyway. I'm gonna just go ahead and go in and see what happens. Hopefully I can make it out without any kind of arresting agents coming in and putting me in handcuffs, and then I got to go and register. Why would you risk your whole entire career, everything that you work for? It's just like that police officer that I had. He wasn't an officer. He was something else. But he had this good position, and he was married, and every morning he was going over into the area that everybody in Detroit know you're not supposed to go into, in order to pick him up a nice little hot prostitute and get him one off before he started his shift in the morning. Like, man, you so dumb. You so dumb. You an idiot. But anyways, that's what's happening over in New York. The big news that the mayor is over there busting up brothels and taking care of business on behalf of the people. And then over in Chicago, the people are still aggravated at what's going on. And this is what's happening to more business owners. You see me show y'all what was happening to other business owners. This is what's happening to business owners over in Chicago, in addition to what's going on with the migrant crisis.
Hit 7 times since Christmas. You heard that right, 7 times at 2 locations, twice overnight. We first talked to the Chicago liquor store owner about this earlier this month. Now he's telling our Tara Molina he can't take any more.
Another day, another broken window for this liquor store owner. This location has been hit 4 times now just this month. The owner just told me his insurance won't cover him anymore.
It was 3 times in 1 week.
Maybe I should go play lottery.
Benjamin Porkalili isn't laughing anymore. That's from when we caught up with him earlier this month.
They steal it from me over and over and over again. Feel like a nightmare.
Today,
the police keep saying on their cars, serve and protect. I don't see anything. I'm pissed off.
With his 2 Chicago stores hit 7 times since Christmas Day, both burglarized overnight.
I didn't want to even come in and open my doors. For what? Get robbed again?
He caught the crew on surveillance cameras at this location, smashing through the only glass left to smash, with the rest of the business boarded up, then using shopping baskets to clear out the store. Eventually, you see a police cruiser behind the car this owner says they ended up driving to burglarize his Old Town location.
Same gang. Went to 4 different locations, 5 different locations. Even police told me that. They went to a couple of other liquor stores around here.
Sephora, right next door, also hit. Chicago police wouldn't say why they didn't follow and arrest the crew, but at this point, this small business owner says he truly can't take anymore.
I'm broke. I'm flat broke.
Telling me his insurance company won't cover him anymore after so many burglaries. He has more than $20,000 in damage, more than $100,000 in inventory stolen. The window gates he's buying to protect the glass at both stores,
$18,000.
Police.
Let me stop there for 1 second. Because we'll see so many complaints from people. Well, first of all, the police went and chased them, and then the police wound up letting them go, and then they went up hitting other locations. So the police never actually stopped him or got him, right? That's one. 2, we see so many times that people within our own culture will complain about how there ain't no grocery stores. They want to invest in our hoods. Man, don't y'all understand that that's private investment where people put their own hard-earned dollars into putting everything they can into starting these businesses and locations, and this is the only way that they have to make money? And then you walk in, do $100,000 in damage to the point to where the insurance companies don't even want to cover it anymore, and they don't even want to be in certain areas. Your insurance, y'all say it's insurance gouging, that is price gouging, right? And y'all will say, man, they redlining us and they charging us more money to do the same type of business as they do over in these other areas and stuff. Well, that's because it's going to cost more, because we know that we're taking a bigger risk, and it's a very high probability that your store is going to get broken into and all of your stuff is going to get taken. And so it then becomes a food desert. It becomes an opportunity desert. It becomes a crime-ridden zone. And then you'll say, oh my God, do something about it. No, call the police and tell the people on who it is that's out there doing the crimes, because all y'all know who's doing it in your own hood. Somebody watched that video. Somebody watched the clip. They probably watching the clip like Chauncey in Menace to Society. They probably watching the same clip. They probably downloaded it and was like, yeah, man, look how sweet we are. Look how dope, man, I got it up. Police chase them. Don't arrest them. If they do arrest them, they're going to get out as a result of the Illinois Safety Act, and they ain't going to have to even post no bond. They busting down stores, and they tearing up people's stuff, and they costing insurance companies money, and then they ruining their neighborhoods.
Glass at both stores,
$18,000.
Police arrested these 3 Sunday.
Look at them. Look at them. Same suspects. Let me guess. Systematic racism, right? Being picked on. Same thing. It's the police's fault. It's the white man's fault. It's the system's fault. It's slavery's fault. It's the fact that we haven't gotten reparations, right? That's what's causing you little suckers to go out there and run in and break into people's stuff and take the stuff that they work for. Is that what it is? It's the same suspect. Look, he got on the same jacket. That red jacket is the same jacket that he was using to just break in on that video. And it's always a girl in there too nowadays. It ain't never just the guys no more. It's always a little hood rat girl. And usually they have red hair. Or they'll have a tattoo on their neck or a tattoo on their face.
Charged with theft, accused of walking in and stealing liquor from the Lakeview store. But the crew or crews behind the massive burglaries still out there, as this business owner here in Chicago for more than 20 years tells us he's hanging on by a thread.
I pay taxes, I pay whatever I'm supposed to pay. I need protection. I want some answers from the bosses of the city.
Chicago police wouldn't address our questions on what's being done to protect small businesses like this one and to crack down on these burglaries, but they do tell me they're still investigating all of them.
Yeah, okay. So you investigating all of them all at the same time, and we gonna figure it out. Meanwhile, it's the people that suffer. And, you know, we remember when Mayor Mohawk, shout out to my dog Kimley, we know that Mayor Mohawk don't call these people criminals. They are large gatherings. This is not violent people. These are people that have been systematically oppressed, and I would prefer that we address them accordingly. And this is large gatherings. And you know, the governor down there in Texas he's demonic. He's demonic. He's sick. And we try to set up structure to have the people come in here at regular business hours. And instead of them working with us, they continue to send buses by planes, trains, and automobiles. But we're going to continue to address the migrant crisis. And these are people that need help. They come in sick. We don't know what's wrong with them. And we're going to depend on our people, our residents, and our church leaders to ensure that they get the best available prognosis of care. And I don't care what happens. We're going to do the thing that is in the best interest of these people. And Biden, they don't help us. I've went to Washington 3 times. I've sent my delegates down to El Paso, Texas, to let me know what's going on there. Nothing. I've contacted Mayor Adams, Mike Johnston, Karen Bass. I've had panic attacks. I've been in the hospital. My mohawk doesn't even look the same. My mohawk doesn't even look the same anymore. And you know what we're going to continue to do? We're going to balance the budget. You know, the one thing that I've promised the people, and we have to continue to give them the best available care possible. The one thing that I've promised the people is I've promised them minimum wage hikes. I've allocated $500,000 to study reparations so we can get to the core of the issue of why Black people are committing these crimes in the first place. And we're going to continue to set up shelters and migrant care inside of the city of Chicago, and we will not sleep until we get all of our police departments migrant free, that visitors when they fly into Chicago, they should not have to pass by migrants inside of the airport. And we're going to allocate more resources over to understanding what the problem is so that I don't have a panic attack. And the governor down there in Texas, they need to get some control and stop sending migrants without any kind of documentation at all hours of the night, and then buying them plane tickets and then sending them on buses and trains to get inside of Chicago's borders. I declare it in Jesus' name. Man, let me tell you, bro, these people got the same rhetoric and the same voice. We've heard it so much that we don't even need no deep fakes. All we got to do is just talk. Just talk. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. and over again. It's the same people talking about a large gathering. Boy, if you don't, let me read some of these super chats. We got to move on to the next thing. We got a lot to cover today, ladies and gentlemen. Enforcer 2K9 says government-sponsored deletion should be a terrifying thing. Yes, and think of all of the possibilities of what that could become for us, because it's never just that. It always is a gateway to something bigger. Okay, so just like the CVAX, they started it as voluntary and end up mandating it. Man, listen, bro. I'm telling you, it's bad out here. Shout out to Enforcer Couture. Shout out to Chat Lives Matter. I see y'all in the chat participating. My dog, Council Mr. G, says, I don't only visit Fridays due to my schedule. I'm able to have a little more time than normal. Also, sometimes I need to call in and give you that work. We do that on after hours, so you can do that tonight, and that'll probably be morning for you. So shout out to my dog, Counselor Mr. G. Always checking in. Jeweled Alchemy Soap Company says, happy Friday, Anton. Glad to see that Miss Rita is healing up, doing the thing. Yeah, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Josh the Roofer says, yo, Anton, just dropping this here. YouTube wouldn't let me super chat for a few months, and I don't know why. Really? We don't want that to happen. Jay Hunter Lee says, brother AD Trump said the exact same thing about these migrants and trafficking and was called a bigot. We just gonna say that. Unreal. Brittany B says, let me see that anchor man on Fox one more time. Brittany, you got an anchor man on Fox? Who was the anchor man on Fox? Let me see what we got. Brittany is lusting over here. Let me see. You know, when guys do it, we just being men. When women do it, they lusting because we got to hold y'all accountable. That one? You don't want that one, Brittany. Not that one. I think I had changed the video. Don't worry about it. We only put women on there anyway. Shout out to Brittany for holding us down. I appreciate you, Brittany. Latrell M says, Anton, did you hear about Faith Evans having to pay $30,000 a month to Stevie J and alimony doing not having a prenuptial agreement? After hours work. After hours. If that's true, I'm going to be talking to them about after hours. Faith Evans. I think that that's beautiful. I think that he deserves to get $30,000 a month. He deserves it. He earned it. He earned it. Anybody that's in a relationship with Faith Evans at this point deserves $360,000 a year. Jay Ben says those rub relief parlors, once under spotlight, sometimes don't get busted immediately in order to allow time to wash their rich clients off the books. Oh, okay. Self-Made Forever is in the building, says, isn't that a contradiction to shut down brothels but not shut down lonely fans? No, because it's just on your screen. And OnlyFans make more money. Pookie friend Ray Ray says, so I should reroute my trips to NYC to Chicago full time now. I'm back driving them. I believe you really are driving too, because if you say stuff enough times, there's some truth to it. Self-Made Forever says, message to the migrants finding the building in Detroit. Oh, no, let me remove this ASAP. I ain't even going to give you a ping for that. Pookie's friend Ray Ray says he needs to apply for Illinois victim compensation. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Iceberg Slam in the building says Pookie and Pookisha running amok in the Shy. Bob Brown says, yo, AD, is Steve Kim. Okay, my dog. Steve Kim. Shout out to Steve Kim, my guy. I appreciate you over there on the Whitlock show. That be checking in, my dog, Steve Kim. Shout out to you, bro. My bad. Counselor Mr. G says, great Brandon Johnson impression. You sound just like that clown. He up there having panic attacks. He should learn from your boy Kwame. I'm about to hit up Kwame. Let me call Kwame. See how he doing out here in these. Nah, I ain't about to call him for y'all. That's my dog. Shout out to Kwame running it up out here in these streets. Quick Octane says, hey, Anton, did you hear about Texas and a possible civil war brewing because of the migrant situation? I did. We're going to address it. Trap and Slay says, Anton, you look disheveled enough. Y'all don't like my Mayor Brandon Johnson impression? I got a lot of impressions. I got Umar Johnson, Brandon Johnson. I got my Southern accent that I like to do. I got a lot of different impressions, guys. So you're going to have to stick around. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and then make sure that you also hit a like for the algorithm. If you like, go ahead and check into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right, so let's get to it. Where we at? Oh, okay. Kari Lake. I've been watching this and y'all been sending it to me. And so I was watching it a little bit after y'all brought it to the front of my attention. And apparently there's some bribery that's going on out here in these Republican streets. There's a bribe that's being happening in these Republican streets or has been exposed. So let me go ahead and bring y'all up to date of what's happening with this.
Tonight, the leader of Arizona's Republican Party resigning after a stunning new audio tape appeared to show him trying to convince a close Trump ally not to run for office.
I'll tell you what I can offer you.
The Arizona GOP's chairman, Jeff DeWitt, heard in this audio urging Kari Lake to not run for the U.S. Senate this year after she lost her race for governor there in 2022.
There are very powerful people who want to keep you out.
In exchange, DeWitt says he could hook her up with a lucrative job.
So the ask I got today from back east was, is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and give her, to keep her out?
DeWitt says the audio was selectively edited.
Is there a number at which
I can be bought? That's what it's about.
You can take a pause for a couple of years.
Because Kari Lake is not a public official, she is simply being asked to withdraw from politics. It doesn't fall under the language of the bribery statute.
Lake, who often wears a mic, decided to run anyway after the audio was made public on Tuesday, Lake calling on DeWitt to resign.
We can't have somebody who's corrupt and compromised running the Republican Party.
DeWitt says Lake's team threatened to release a new, more damaging recording if he didn't resign. Reached by phone tonight, DeWitt told NBC News that he was blown away by her recording their private conversations. Lake's campaign denies it blackmailed DeWitt. If Lake were to win the Republican primary, she would be expected to face independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema and Democratic Congressman Ruben Gallego in a three-person race.
So essentially, they were having a private conversation. It was supposed to be a private conversation, but it was recorded. At this point, y'all just gotta try to, by default, you just gotta assume, no matter what you're talking about, whether it's politics or whether you're just talking about a chick that you about to bust down, especially if you're a public figure, you just gonna have to assume that you're being recorded. Every other day, I see a chick that jump on Instagram or jump on TikTok, and y'all send me a video to react to. Apparently, it was this woman that I'm dropping a video for later on today, where she was talking about how she had just went out on a date with some famous actor, or she's some kind of IG model or something, and she was detailing the experience and stuff. Now, nothing is private. It's nothing private anymore. If you go out with somebody, if you jump on any kind of application, if you having a private conversation, even if you say it's off the record, you just gonna have to assume that you're being recorded, and so you got to move accordingly, right? Now, that don't justify what he did. It don't mean that it was right? But I think that all politicians are practically, I think that they all bought. They all bought and they paid for. What do you think lobbyists are for? He said, listen, there's some powerful people. What kind of job you want? We just want you to pause it for a couple years. What kind of job you want? And so the minute that she said, that I can be bought, I would have just automatically shut up and assumed that I was being recorded. Hey, shake her down. Somebody check her. Shake her down. Somebody check her. I would have automatically assumed I was being recorded from the very beginning, especially a woman coming in there. Heck, man, listen. And then when she said it out loud, that's an immediate red flag. Any movie that you'd have never, ever watched, when they don't talk in code no more and they say stuff out loud like, that I can be bought? What are you doing with all of those drugs? Are you bringing some more drugs over there in the border tomorrow? When they start saying that and they say it really loud too, man, you being recorded, bro. They got a wiretap on you. Whatever it is that you're doing, stop immediately. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Assume that they are, when they be overly overt with it, hey, you coming over my crib today. Why? So you can bust me down in my mouth? You just look at the phone, just hang up. Just hit the doop, doop, doop. Just hit the end button. The minute that she started talking all loud and she, you know what I'm saying? Nope. I don't know what you talking about. What? What made you think that I was going to say that? Girl, you crazy. Just assume everything. Just assume everything. Don't send no text messages. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing at all. The smart dudes, they don't even talk directly to you. I'm not giving y'all all the sauce. I'm not about to give y'all all of the sauce. The smart ones don't even talk directly to you. They send somebody else to go do the work, and then you can't bring your phone in anyway. I'm not talking to y'all. I don't want to talk. Apparently, she just did a recent interview with Megyn Kelly, and she was talking about the whole situation. And so let me see if I can fast forward through it to get some source.
Kari Lake is here listening. All right, she's going to join us on the back end of this. What you're about to hear is the Arizona GOP party chairman, Jeff DeWitt, talking. Kari Lake joins me now. Kari, so good to have you on again. This is unbelievable.
Every time I hear it, it's shocking, and I've heard it several times, and it just, I feel like the blood drains out of my body every time I hear it.
I mean, just so the audience knows, to kick it off, you are running. You did not pull yourself out of any race, and you're doing very well for right now, trying to get the primary win so you can run as the Republican candidate out there, and you're crushing it at the moment. So this
guy,
guy,
the latest poll shows me 6 points up, Megan. So I think we're doing pretty well. And
she released that on purpose in order to continue to make herself look even better. And so now she looks like an even more viable candidate, because it looks like, oh no, we need the honest person that's in office. I still don't trust him. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust the person that's recording. Listen, I don't trust him because he over there doing slime ball stuff, which we all know, but you can't get caught. And I don't trust her because she was in there recording. So I still don't trust her. I don't. Now y'all thinking, oh, she's a champion for transparency. Man, I don't trust no person that's coming in there with a recorder and recording any kind of conversation at all. I don't trust nobody.
This conversation happened in my home 11
months ago. They say I skipped over the call. No, listen, I didn't skip over the call. I got the cliff notes. I've heard the call. I want to keep the show moving, and I want to see what she says during this interview because I haven't seen the interview yet.
So this was powerful people back east trying to prevent me from getting into the U.S. Senate race. And honest to God, it's one of the reasons I said I have to jump into it. If these people back east, if these powerful people are going to try to bribe me out of politics, that tells me that I need to jump in with both feet. And that's one of the reasons I ultimately decided I have to do this.
One of the interesting things on there to me is what can we do with her? Talking head? Is there some company that would take her? I mean, it's like that you used to be a news anchor. We talked about that when you came on before. They thought maybe we can just station her someplace as a talk. I mean, does that tell you anything about who is making the offer? Because my understanding is you don't know who was behind the money.
I don't know who is, and I've thought about it many, many times. The sad thing, Megan, is you could sit and ponder for 24 hours and probably come up with a list of 400 corrupt people or entities, or maybe even more. It could be anyone. The whole Washington, D.C. swamp is so corrupt. So I don't know who it is. I've had my suspicions here and there, but I really don't know. And you wonder how many other people get this offer. You wonder why good people don't get into politics, because maybe the minute they step in, they get a meeting like this and they decide to step back out. It's disturbing. We've heard about this kind of stuff happening. I will be honest, when it happened, it was so surreal. And I was in a hurry because I was finishing up my book, finishing the edits on my book. I know you've been there before and you're under deadline. And I was getting ready to pack for CPAC, where I was going to go and be a keynote speaker there. And so I shooed him out of the house. And I got on the plane later on, and I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about at CPAC. And, many times during this conversation, he said, this conversation never happened. Don't talk about it. Don't say anything about it. And I said, I have to say something about this. So I changed my speech the next day at CPAC, and I brought this up immediately. So I've been talking about this conversation for 11 full months. Let
me back up for a minute. I need to hear the whole phone call now. I want to hear some of it. I know I can't play the whole thing.
I know they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So, this conversation never happened.
This is crazy, though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me. These people are corrupt.
If you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered. So what's going on? Who is it? What?
Forget the who. Let me just tell you the what.
At the very least, he protected the client. Good God.
Let's just say there are people calling around saying, gosh, no, they can't repeat this. Never repeat this. If you say no, don't. If you say, I got offered to buy out. Don't use it.
Here's my problem.
This nigga's wild. This dude is just over here just talking like a chatty patty. He's saying everything.
Rather than just say, let's work with her, she's a great candidate. Because they don't own me. And it pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't know, it's about ownership.
It's about control.
I don't know if it's about control. It's about being on the team.
But if they're pushing a globalist agenda, I can't do that. So what do they want? What do they want me to do?
You want to stay out for 2 years. But, let me tell you what I can offer you. I said, you can do whatever you want. It's talking head, this and that. So, the ask of me was, it's kind of funny. So the ask I got today from back east was, this has to stay between us. Is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and give her, to keep her out? And I said, well, what are you willing to do? Like, whatever we need to do.
This is about defeating Trump. And I think that's a bad, bad thing for our country. DeSantis is not America First. This is about the final death blow to Trump. And I don't think that's good for our country.
And you know I love Trump. I love Trump.
It's not good for our country, Jeff.
I think what it really comes down to for a lot of people, it's not really about like control or agenda. It's just about the ability to raise money to win. You know, if you really want to know, all of politics boils down to money. I think. And even on their end, like what makes them the most money?
I know. All these consultants don't want their payday to end. And I don't want to make a deal with these kind of people. This is a hill worth dying on. I'm not, if they're going to steal the election to make me and our movement go away, I'm not letting them do that. I owe it to the people of Arizona.
Or
to carry their torch and their voice.
Or you don't go away.
Listen, I like her. I like Kari Lake. It looks like she's a cool person. But you also got to be objective enough to understand that because she knows that she's recording, she's also giving her speech right then and there. Listen, man. Listen to what I'm saying. She seems like a good candidate. She seems like she stands on the right thing. But I'm not stupid and situationally unaware enough to not believe that she knows that she's being recorded, so she's basically giving you her speech right then and there. The people of Arizona deserve me. They deserve to get the movement, and I have to be a voice for them. Listen, I know that y'all easily finesse and believe anything that's in front of y'all, but I don't trust none of these people, and I mean zero. She's basically giving the speech because she knows that it's going to be released in its full context to the people, and she's making it seem like she's just standing on business because she's standing on business, but she's also using it as a way to promote herself, which I don't blame her. I don't blame her. I genuinely don't blame her. I would absolutely probably do the same exact thing. I would do the same thing, but I'm telling you that she knew that she was recording, and so it's easy for her to talk about it. You're not going to stop the movement that we have. We need to drain the swamp in Washington. What do they want from me? Do they want to try to take me out because I'm trying to do the right thing? And we want to make sure that everything is on the up and up and all of these corrupt politicians in Washington is crazy? Come on, man. Don't mean that she shouldn't be elected or she should be elected. But what it also means is that I know y'all not this easily finessed. Because if y'all this easy finesse, then y'all will believe anything that a woman tell y'all just because she's sitting in front of your face. I don't believe it, bro. I'm just not going for it.
But you pause.
This is the battles right now, Jeff.
And you fill your coffers.
No, the battle is right now.
It's a back scratching club. That's all DC is. It's a big back scratching club. You're in no position to scratch anybody's back, and you've already made it known that if you get there, you're not going to scratch anybody's back. Where are we in 2 years?
And again, nobody is saying that she shouldn't be elected or she's not official, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that objectively, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at it the way I see it with clear eyes. not being on anybody's side. And I could see, because she knows she's recording, she's also talking a specific way in order to impress the people, because she already knows that she's going to release it. She was probably so excited, her heart beating at 100 beats per minute, because she already got them on tape.
Steal the election again.
Listen to what you're saying. Why don't we do something about it? So that we the people can pick our...
What can we do?
I'm not willing to accept that. And I'm going to be the biggest pain in these people's... Go back and tell them that.
Man, y'all so easily finesse, bro. Y'all so finesse. I'm just so surprised that y'all just going for this, man. Really? Is this what we doing? Seriously? It sounds just like they're on the campaign trail, man. I'm going to be the biggest thorn in their side. You can go back and you can tell the big corporations that. Man, stop it, bro. Come on, man. Stop, man. Stop. Don't tell me that I'm not being finessed when I'm being finessed. I see you removing the money out of my pocket. I know when I'm being finessed, bro. Like, make it believable. Just make it like a regular conversation. Just be normal. He shouldn't even have kept talking to her. He should have already known what was happening. You tell those people I'm going to be the biggest thorn in their side. You tell them that and you write it on a piece of paper, buddy.
I'm running, and I'm going to be the biggest pain in their...
I'm willing to tell them that.
And they're going to have to kill me to stop me.
I know. Look.
You don't have to tell them that, but I don't think they will, but...
I don't think that's the way they are.
I'm offended by whoever these people are that they're trying to buy me out of.
Well, you should be honored.
But I'm offended that there's people back there who just don't get about our country.
Do you understand, though? You should be honored.
I can't do this no more, bro. I can't. I'm offended that there's people back there that just don't even care as much about our country as I do. I'm offended to my core. Y'all in there talking about, man, Anton, man, dog, y'all let these women tell y'all anything, bro. Moving on. She just as phony as all the rest of them. She may be a little less phony and a little less dirty than everybody else, but she just as phony as the rest of them. 49 is putting in that work? Nope, don't think so. Let me go ahead and remove that one. Shout out to you, Chris Moore. I appreciate you for holding me down, big dog. Food, fashion, women in sports. I can't wait till the Detroit Lions destroy y'all next year. Food, fashion. Oh, there she is. Look at the finesse. You such a finesse. What are you talking about? You put on an undershirt where I could see through and see your nipples.
Boy, this match my pajamas.
I could see everything. I could see the areola, I could see the nipples and everything. And so you just so happen to walk out like this. Oh, look, she walking out like this. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I dropped something. Gotta come and pick it up.
Why would I do that? And I can't even do nothing.
Oh my God. Because you kind of trying to keep me on. Finessing me, y'all. The finesse is so real. It's real with Kari Lake. It's real with Rita Daniels. All women finesse. All of them. All women finesse. All of them. Oh, you just so happen to be bending down to pick that up too? Okay. All right. You got it. You got it. Anything else? I like your new outfit that you got on to wear around the house.
Thank you.
Oh, man, this is amazing. I'm not about to be finessed by these women. You know what I'm saying? Food, fashion, women in sports. That's a heck of a combination, too. David Simpson Jr. says, be careful of independent politicians. They always vote with one wing, usually left. Brittany B says, always move in silence, never say anything you can't repeat, always stay out of the way and never be remembered. Or, I'll do you one better, Brittany. Plant into them what you want them to say so that they basically do your bidding for you when you need to play chess. See, we don't just want to move in silence. We want to move loud, but we want to control people, and we want them to think that they're doing it on their own, and we want to give them the idea. All right, that's the real finesse. If you learn that, then you can really learn life. Jamal Fowler says, sliding through on a Friday, peacetime. Shout out to my dog, Jamal Fowler. Blaze Skywalker says, the white man taking an L again. Thank you, my friends, for continuing to hold me down. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. What we got next up on the menu? Let's see, we did crime, quick hits, Kari Lake. My favorite. Professor X with a full head of hair is standing on business when it comes to this migrant crisis. But first, before we talk about what's happening with the migrant crisis, let me tell you what some people are doing over there in Chicago because they have a heart full of gold.
Today, food was delivered to families staying in this South Shore building. In recent days, 57 Venezuelans moved into this building on South Essex. That's according to Chris Amator, who says he owns the building.
I just decided, hey, I got the heat on, I got gas, I got electric, water. I go, let's fill them and we'll worry about the details later.
Over the last 9 days, Amator says he felt moved to offer shelter in his vacant apartments after visiting the city's landing center and a shelter for new arrivals.
I saw 5-year-olds with no jackets on the streets. You know, I was taking my jacket off, putting it on them, and I'm like, tomorrow's going to be -14. I'm like, what's going on?
Amator says over the last 9 days, he, his family, and a couple of volunteers have taken in 448 adults and children at 15 of his residential buildings. Some neighbors posted video of the building on Essex, alleging people were breaking into the building and that the building was not safe.
It's frustrating.
Veronica Cotton is a lifelong South Shore resident and new business owner. But she shares she and her sons were homeless a couple of years ago, and they didn't get the help they needed.
Not saying that it's not right to help them, but it's not right for others not to get help as well.
Amator tells us there was no break-in on Essex. While he acknowledges his impromptu efforts to help new arrivals was not the most organized, today we even saw windows being unboarded. But he says he wanted to do something.
I just decided to submit my free will and do God's plan, and I feel that, you know, I'm just going to keep doing what is right, and wherever the chips fall, that's...
Do y'all know why they board up windows? Y'all know why they board up windows most of the time? Because it's windows inside of the building, and he owns the building, and I'm not sure what he was doing with the building, but one of the reasons that they board up the windows is so you can't tear up the windows that's already there. That's why they board up the windows. It's not because, or just because, oh my God, we don't want the elements to get in. It's because they don't want you breaking into the building itself, and that's why they board up the windows. And it's amazing to me how we have so much generosity, and we're touched with love and compassion for people that don't even speak the language, yet we have no compassion for the people that you live right next door to. That's normal. It says it in the scriptures. It even says it in your own home. It says a prophet gets no love in his own home. Absolutely no love. Look, your brother, your homeboy down the street, he can't get $5 from you. He can't get $5 from you. But this person that you ain't never seen before, you move with such compassion. Rita, yes. Before you continue to try to put on some more sexy stuff, what do I usually stop by the ATM and do? I get a lot of cash every single day. Every single day, I get about somewhere between $100 and $250 in cash. Now, I feel kind of bad because I haven't been able to do that over the past week because I've been in the home, and we got to put home first, right? We got to make sure that the people at the crib is first. But I always over love on people. I give people money every day. I make sure I take care of them. I make sure that I feed them. You know why? Because these are my neighbors, and they don't have to necessarily live next to me in order to be my neighbors. These are people that I see struggling on a regular basis. Struggling on a regular basis. because I have so many comps at certain hotels, and when I'm not bringing people in at the best hotels, I may put people in hotels that I see need places to stay and stuff like that because I built a relationship with them. Whenever my DoorDash driver comes, these are people that actually is trying, and so I want to exponentially multiply the results of what they're trying to do, and so that's why I tip well. See, I don't want to give resources over to people that's just not trying or that I don't know. If I see somebody working their butt off and they giving my DoorDash, or I go into a restaurant, people can't understand. They'll say, well, I don't tip at a restaurant because they employer should pay them this, right? Cool. You got your opinion. I got mine. My opinion is because they are actually going to work every day and they're doing it legally, I want to bless them because I've been so blessed and I understand what it feels like to be getting it out the mud and getting it from the bottom. And sometimes you just need an extra boost. That's why we give what we give away inside of the Patreon, because we want to give people the inspiration as well as the information, because maybe they just need a little bit of a boost. And so my bill of whatever it is that I go and dine out at a restaurant, and this is just what I build into what it is that I'm going to do, is going to be 100% of whatever my bill is. If my bill is $150, then the tip is $150, and that's what we roll with. Especially at the breakfast places, because breakfast food be so cheap. But we always have so much compassion for the people that we don't know. In relationships, you don't give a F about the person that you lay next to, but then you run into this random on the street and all of a sudden you want to give them all of your love. That's the nature of people. That is the nature of people. I'm going to do everything I can because I'm so moved. Telling me you ain't never seen a homeless person before? You live in Chicago. You ain't never seen a homeless person before, huh? It's just not in you. You just want some special accolades and you had to call the news in order to get that visibility, right? Now, I'm not hating on him. I'm just telling you the nature of people. Meanwhile, what's happening over here in Texas is that it's a border standoff.
Top Texas officials say they will not comply with the deadline to allow federal border agents access to a park along the Rio Grande.
So the tension between the state and the federal government has led to some calls for the president to take control of the Texas National Guard. Fox 4's Blake Hansen in now with the latest. Blake.
Yeah, Heather and Steve, federal agents, the federal government had demanded that its agents get access to that park, that it's been a high crossing area by tomorrow. It is a small area on a big border, but it's a symbol of this dispute between the state and the feds that is ramping up. The state of Texas is adding more razor wire along the border, even after a U.S. Supreme Court ruling paved the way for the feds to take it down. And Governor Abbott shared Thursday why he thinks there's constitutional backing for the state to do what it needs.
Shout out to Professor X. Shout out to Governor X. That's the real X.
So it was the states that created the United States. And when these states voted to create the United States and have a constitution, included in that agreement was the compact that the federal government would take care of the states.
The Supreme Court ruling.
Gangsta love, I'm going to address you shortly when I read the super chats. I got you. I'm going to answer your question directly.
Allows for federal agents to cut the razor wire, but there's been no decision yet on the case as a whole.
Regardless of what federal statute may exist, the supremacy clause means that the Constitution itself is the supreme law of the land. The Constitution itself provides Texas with a right of self-defense in this case, because the United States has abandoned its responsibility to defend Texas.
Meanwhile, federal officials demanded the state of Texas allow access to Shelby Park, a high crossing area the state took over earlier this month.
Kyla, I agree. So I'm going to address it once and for all.
Attorney General Ken Paxton told Fox News the state does not plan to comply with a Friday deadline to grant access.
We're talking about 2.5 miles of a 1,260-something mile border along Texas, and suddenly they've got to have access right here.
With the state and feds at odds along the border, some have called on President Biden to federalize the Texas National Guard. White House officials addressed the matter aboard Air Force One Thursday.
Is the administration considering federalizing the Texas National Guard?
About this the other day. I don't have any decisions with respect to that to speak to for the president. I don't have anything on that.
Meanwhile, optimism for a new border security deal in Washington appears to be waning. This after former President Donald Trump argued a deal would be meaningless and a gift to Democrats.
Former President Trump has indicated to senators that he does not want us to solve the problem at the border. He wants to lay the blame for the border at Biden. And the idea that someone running for president would say, please hurt the country so I can blame my opponent and help my politics is a shocking development.
Meanwhile, Senate negotiators say the legislation is close to done and don't agree with waiting.
I don't agree on that, and the reason I don't agree on that is, one, we have a constitutional responsibility to be able to protect the country and its safety. The things that are in this bill, Donald Trump would actually want to be able to have as president on this.
I like the fact that Republicans seem to be, for the most part, sticking together. Actually, I don't even want to play this next video. I want to play something else. Hold on. Because I seen this earlier. Hopefully I can find it again, but I had seen it earlier. I wanted to use this as one of the clips to talk about something specifically, but let me play this while I'm looking for it.
Let's continue this conversation with Congressman Keith Self, Republican from Texas. Congressman, thanks for being with us this morning, sir. As you well know, the rhetoric here keeps ratcheting up by the day. This moment, it feels new, right? It feels like a new boiling point yet to be seen between Texas and the White House. What do you see this standoff ultimately leading to in your state?
Look, the border is at the boiling point, and I think you're seeing a movement across the nation now. Governor Abbott, supported by 25 other governors. This is a constitutional standoff. Texas has the right to repel an invasion if the Biden administration fails, which they have failed miserably. This is a constitutional right in the guarantee clause that Texas has the right to repel the invasion. Governor Abbott is exactly right. And I think the governors will prevail in this, because you cannot nationalize 25 states' National Guards if we all band together and do this together.
And I wanted to get your...
I don't understand where the division lies. That's my thing. That's my biggest thing. I don't know why it's a division between people in a general sense, that we don't fundamentally agree on open borders. Borders should not be open. I don't know why this is such a big issue. This is nothing to even argue about. But let me tell you what's really happening is that they basically leveraging funding for the borders because they know that that's meaningful to the people, especially if you are a right-leaning conservative. They know that this is meaningful to you, and so what happens is they're using this in order to try to get funding for other things like what's going on over in Ukraine and Israel. And so the people are the pawns. We the pawns. We paying them, and they're using our dollars against us. That's basically what's happening. And we all are basically saying like, yo, it's some things that we don't have to fight about. We can fight about a lot of stuff, and we can have a difference of opinion on a lot of things, but I don't know if the majority of the country would be open with the fact that anybody can come in at any time and it's open borders. We don't leave our houses open. We don't leave our houses open. It's silly. It's stupid. So, y'all said put some alligators in the river? Man, listen, I can't as a man with a platform advocate for that. Let me read some of these super chats and let me address some stuff. Eugene Miller says, just found your show. Keep killing it. A new sub. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you to the new subs. Chris Moore says, D-Toilet going down. 49ers kick. Oh, yeah, we're going to have that conversation. We'll see after the weekend. Iceberg. Well, let me address yours shortly. I'm going to do yours in a second. Brock says, facts. All I've ever said when I have these conversations is we need to take care of home and make it solid first. Seriously, pass a love offering. I agree. Can't get the deficit in order. It's just crazy. Iceberg Slim says, Gangsta Love got his mangina tampered with by transmissions from O-Block. Then he goes on to say, then the Gangster Love drops a super chat and says, bring me up, I won't be disrespectful. All right, let me address this real quick. What makes you think you special? You don't get to skip out in a line and jump in front of everybody and continue to be a troll and continue to be disrespectful on a regular basis inside of the chat. Listen, we got a high. And when I say we, I'm talking about the people that's on here on this platform. All of the people. This is our show. This is not just the Anton Daniels show. This is our show. That's why I'm so adamant about Chat Lives Matters. And we have had a high tolerance for people like you who usually we would say that you're a troll, but we didn't, right? So, as promised, I opened up the possibility and I skipped the line to even have you at the lowest possible price possible to even do a coaching call with you, right? So, kept putting it off. I called you at the designated time. Your number wrong. We got to switch your number and all of this other type of stuff. And so and then in the midst of it, I keep seeing you trolling the chat. I tell Rita, I said, listen, refund that man his money. I voluntarily refunded you your money because it's too much of a hassle to deal with people with a negative mentality. I don't have time to be playing games with people like you, bro. Like, you are a negative person. You are a very, very toxic person. I'm trying to understand, why are you here every day? I am not doing any coaching calls with you, right? Your energy is off. You toxic. Everything that we say, listen, I could purposely say the wrong thing just to say what you're going to see what you're going to say, and you're going to say the opposite as a result of it. What do you want? Go over there and subscribe to Voice Watkins. Go kick it with somebody else and either get in line or we just going to ban you permanently, bro, because we've had a long leash on a lot of people. You disrespectful, you disruptive, you continue to be the class clown, always trolling, always looking for attention, want me to bring you up. I'm not doing it. So either fall in line and do what you're supposed to do, or go and move on and do something else somewhere else. But we're not giving you your attention. I bet you act just like this in your household. I bet you always pining for attention. I bet you always want somebody to pay attention to you. You do dumb stuff all the time just so you can disrupt the flow of what's happening within your family, just so they can pay attention to you. Grow up. You a grown man. Grow up. Be an adult. It's a time for playing and it's a time for seeking attention from people, and then it's a time for you to get serious and start focusing. Every time we talking about something, even if it's not a serious, even if it's a serious subject, you always got something stupid to say. You a fool. You don't want a coaching call with me because I'm going to cuss you the hell out. Trust me, I did you a favor by sending you your money back. I did you a favor by sending you your money back. This is your coaching call. Grow the hell up, bro. Become an adult. Stop being a child every time. Nobody told you that you was retarded inside of your classroom when you was growing up, and now all of a sudden you got out and they stopped keeping track of you. We used to keep track of the students in room 9. Grow up. You're not dumb. You're not stupid. You're not retarded. You don't have ADHD. Stop being the opposite of whatever it is good and grow the fuck up, bro. You're a grown man acting like a child. Stupid. An idiot. I don't want to hear your side. Man, you know what? Here we go. We just do this. It's a child. So that's what we're going to solve for there. Y'all ready to get over into the next thing? Let me read a couple more super chats and we're going to go from there. Greg Charlie says, don't let them disrespect my... Oh, the Lions is going to win, bro. And that's how you do. You wipe it clean, you get it up out of there, and you continue to move. Act like it never even happened. They never even existed. Wilden CNA says, remember when the colonies dumped the tea in the water, the succession is coming, in my Paul Revere voice. Yo, shout out to Wilden CNA. I rock with you, big dog. Thank you, my friend, for continuing to hold me down. David Simpson Jr. says, if you care about immigration, advocate for the increase in legal immigration, which is one of the highest in the world already. That's a fact, David Simpson. Also, my guy says, what? You coach as well? Dang, this is the real channel I'm here for. Oh, Eugene must be new. He new to this. We ain't new to this. We do this. All right, what up, kicking it with a chef? What's up, baby? What's up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's up to all of my friends? Y'all ready to get back to the money? All right. All right, let's get back to the money. Anyways, so moving on. What we got next? What we got next? What we got next? Oh, all right. So I know that y'all gonna be a little bit bothered by this, but I have an opinion on it, and I'm gonna give my thoughts. So, a Texas district and school is under fire for a kid complaining about being suspended from school because they don't want him to have long hair or braids. Let me say that again. A Texas school is under fire because a kid, and this is a high school kid, and his mother are complaining about the fact that he keep getting suspended because he won't fall in line with his hair. Now, I know that this might rustle a couple feathers, but we're going to have a conversation about it, and I want to show y'all what's going on. Again, make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Tonight, a heated dispute between a Houston area school district and one of its black high school students is headed to trial. Daryl George has been serving an in-school suspension and facing other disciplinary actions for more than 4 months now, all because of his hair.
Why me out of everybody in that school?
The Barbers Hill district says it's because George's lock hairstyle violates its dress code policy, which limits hair length for boys. But George's family and critics say the move is a violation of the Crown Act, a new Texas law which took effect in September and prohibits race-based hair discrimination.
I wrote the Crown Act, I filed it, and it is clear. Locks, bantu knots, twists, braids, wash and goes, blowouts, however you wish to wear your hair, wigs should be accepted. Barbers Hill ISD is stealing his high school experience and breaking the law.
A state judge now setting a February trial date to determine if George's punishment is a violation of the law.
The family has a real case here, especially given that the authors of the bill really believe that this is a situation where the Crown Act would apply. The outcome of this case will absolutely set a precedent, especially within the state of Texas.
George's mother said she was disappointed the judge did not grant a temporary restraining order that would have stopped her son's punishment until the trial.
I have a son, 18 years old, that wants to go to school, that wants to get his education.
I got a question first before we continue this. Where's the father? Every single issue that we see happen and there's a disruption, there is never a father in the picture. There will be a mother, there will be an auntie, there will be a sister, there will be a lot of different things. But I never, ever, 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 ever see a father in the picture except for when we was talking about the chick that seen a white baby on the road.
And y'all messing with him. Why?
Barbers Hill superintendent telling NBC News in part, the Crown Act says nothing about hair length, adding it was meant to allow braids, locks, or twists, which the district has always allowed. The law was never intended to allow unlimited student expression. In a paid ad that ran earlier this month in the Houston Chronicle, Poole stood behind the district's decisions. The ad reading, quote, "We will not lose sight of the main goal, high standards for our students, by bending to political pressure or responding to misinformed media reports. These entities have lesser goals that ultimately harm kids."
Let me back up for a minute. He said, we will not lose sight of the main goal, high standards for our students, by bending to political pressure or responding to misinformed media reports. So what that means, let me translate that to y'all in so many words. You only getting one side of the story because this is being slanted and told to you by MSNBC, which is a left-leaning political news organization, and they're giving you their side. You have a bunch of mothers, and it's easy to play on people's emotions, and we don't know how great he is in school or anything like that, and we don't even know exactly whether or not they knew what the standards were before they got there, and now they're trying to change whatever the rules are. So he's basically saying, listen, you responding to misinformed media reports, and we don't feel the need to have to prove it to you just because you're on the news. But let's continue, and then I want to play this whole story for y'all. And remember, consider the source, and it's always two sides to a story before we start to get there.
For media reports, these entities have lesser goals that ultimately harm kids.
Greg Poole is a liar. It is about the fact that he does not like braids, locks, or any sort of African-American hairstyle, which he said, and I'm going to prove it to you.
We spoke with George in December, shortly after he was suspended for a second time due to his hair.
Now, we always know that it's always going to come back to race, right? We always know that it's a racism issue. They don't like you because you're black, or they don't like you because it's a black hairstyle. Let's just play it, let it play all the way out.
This all felt for you.
It's very stressful.
Somebody said Fox News is a right-leaning and you play it all the time. I play everything. Anybody here will tell you that I source multiple different sources as much as I can find them on one story. I play both sides of it. I play MSNBC. I play CNN. I play Fox. I play ABC. I play CBS. I play every single thing, and then I give my take on it. And often at times, I often like to use more than one source if more than one source will pick it up, so I can show you the differences and then try to find a reason within the middle, because I know that it's always going to be slanted one side or the other. I don't agree with everything that Fox says. Absolutely not. 100% I don't. Right? It's a lot of things that I disagree with about Republicans, but I play every single news source, and more often than not, if I can, I'll play 3 if I got time from 3 different news sources in order to give you the insight into what's going on out here. So please don't ever try to say that I play one thing or the other. I play it all. I play it all, and I play CNBC too. That's a fact.
I'm trying to maintain being a student while also having to deal with this. Why should I cut my hair for my education? My hair has nothing to do with my education.
What does your hair and your hairstyle mean to you?
It just means a lot to me. It made me feel more closer to my people. Being without my hair is like cutting me from my people, not letting me, express myself how I feel I should be.
Zinclea Samoa, NBC News.
Now, back me back up for a minute, okay? I'm going to just leave it there. Now, this is my opinion, and my opinion personally, based off of my own life experiences, and we can continue this conversation over in the after hours tonight, and I will bring y'all up because I know that y'all probably got some thoughts, but I'm going to preface this by saying that this is my opinion, and we are going to talk about this on after hours tonight. This is one of the things we're going to talk about, all right? So the first point is this. I come from an environment where obviously I was raised in the hood because I was raised in the inner city of Detroit, and I was removed in middle school, and my father made the sacrifice, as a lot of you already know, and he sent me and my brother to middle school in private school for 2 years before I went back into public school, and I wound up going to Cass Tech High School in Detroit, right? Which, in my opinion, is the greatest high school ever, let alone the greatest high school in Detroit. But I was removed, and I got sent to private school, and they paid the tuition, and it was very, very high. And in that school, it was a culture shock for me. And that culture shock was because I had been growing my hair out into an afro at that time, because I was only in 6th grade going into 7th grade. And so I was influenced by everything that was going on around me, and everybody was wearing Jodeci boots and growing afros at that time. And the first thing that they made me do was cut my hair. First thing they made me do was cut my hair. Second thing that they made me do was pull up my pants. You could not go to school without a belt on. Third thing that they made me do was wear a collared shirt, because you could not wear a shirt that was not a button-up collared shirt. And the fourth thing that they made me do was put on a tie. Let me say it again. Cut my hair, pull up my pants, and you had to wear slacks. You could not wear jeans. We had a uniform, right? I had to get a button-up shirts, and I had to wear a tie. And the whole mantra behind being a Cub, because that was what our thing was we had to do volunteer work. We had to be men because it was an all-boys school. So they was teaching us how to be men. They was teaching us to have discipline. And they was teaching us to follow the rules. And it wasn't just the rules as it was written on the books. It was the rules that you understood it based off of what the culture was being set for them. We had a standard similar to the military. You're not going to go into the military and have braids in your hair and all of that. You had to have you went in there and you got that buzz cut. And that's what men understood. And it was just a different time in our culture to where you couldn't do what you wanted to do. You did it according to how it was, the standards that was set based off of where it is that you was trying to go to. And so if you wanted to be a part of that environment, then you wanted to go to that school and you had to have a standard. And I fought it, and I wound up getting suspended, and they was willing to put me out until I conformed, right? Now, a lot of people will say, well, you shouldn't conform or anything like this. Listen, having standards and structure, it's nothing wrong with it. That's actually something that you're supposed to have as a man. And so what it taught me, which carried me all the way to this day, because I started to see things a little bit differently, and I understood that our cultural norms was actual trash, and when we let other people set the standards and break the rules based off of how they feel instead of what it is that you do. Listen, you can feel how you want to feel, but at the end of the day, these are the rules. If you don't meet the criteria according to whoever it is in charge, and if they make the decision that you can't be there or you're not going to do it the way that you feel like you're going to do it, then you're not going to do it. And he said what he said, and he said he's standing on business. And so I don't care how connected you are to your people. I don't care how much you feel. I don't care if you feel like it feel good to you and you want to do what you want to do. If this is the standard, then you meet the criteria or you go somewhere else. You go somewhere else. And so what I've learned in that process of me going through that whole thing is that structure is good, and men, boys, especially young guys, they need structure. They need discipline. They need to understand what it means to stand on business, and you're not going to bend and break the rules just because you bring your mama up to the school. This is just my personal opinion. And if you don't like it, then go to that other school over there. But it's a reason why we set the culture to be like this in this environment. It's a reason for it. And if you don't understand it, then you're not meant to be here. That's why private schools get so much better of results than public schools. It's because if you really look at it and you compare and contrast it, public schools, they do what they want to do. And the inmates are the ones that run the asylum. Private schools, you are privileged to be there and they have to accept you. Think about it. There's a barrier to entry and they have to accept you. And if you don't meet the criteria, when you go on a job interview, because you teaching this boy to do what he want to do and to crash out when he get older. And again, this is just my personal opinion. You teaching this boy to do what he want to do when he want to do it. When you go on a job interview, you don't just wear jeans. Why not? It's pants, it's covering your legs. Why can't we make the same argument? How does that affect whether or not you're doing your job effectively? Why you can't just wear jean day every day? When you go in a professional setting, and this is to prepare you for life, you have to play by the rules if you want to be a part of that organization. Otherwise, go and do your own self-education. You can't do what you want to do when you want to do it. That's how you break rules. That's how we now get to the point where we are in society, where everybody doing what they want to do because it's a gateway into really being able to say and do whatever it is that you want to do. You can't bring your mama up to the school. If we showed up without a tie, listen, it's a box of ties in the front office. Go up there, get you one, learn how to tie it. I had to learn how to tie my tie in 3 different ways. And get your butt to class. You can't be on the basketball team. And whenever it is I went in there and I said, oh, man, I ain't wear a belt today, but how does that affect my learning? She said, boy, if you don't go in there and get a belt and be able to get that education, because we're spending a lot of money to make sure that you're taken care of. Wasn't no breaking the rules. Wasn't no modifications. Either you met it at the highest standards. You had to go out there, canvas, make sure that you do volunteer work. We had to meet so many hours of community service and doing things for our community and stuff like that. Well, how does that affect your learning? It's teaching you how to be a man. Boys to men. Rules is rules. We put them in place for a reason. It's for your benefit, for your future. We don't give a F about what you feel connected to and your ancestors. This ain't Avatar. This is Texas. So I think differently. I see things differently. Completely different. 100% different. Until you get to the age to where you can actually pay and live for yourself and you can decide to go and do your own thing, you do what we tell you to do when we tell you to do it. Because if we have to be responsible for your learning, your well-being, you don't get an option to make it to determine how you're going to do it. When people hit me up and they say, Anton, I want to get a coaching call, and they say, well, I respectfully disagree. I say, well, I respectfully don't give a fuck about what you think because you called me. I didn't call you. You fucked up. I'm not fucked up. You calling me in order to give you the insight. I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm not here to negotiate with you. I'm telling you what you need to do in order to be successful. Now, if you don't want to follow that, I can refund you your money. You can go back from where you came from and we can keep it moving. But it's rules to this game, and everything that you do in every environment that you're going to be successful, it's going to be rules to the game. And this is why you need fathers in the home, and you need fathers around you, and you need strong men, because they don't let you do what you want to do when you want to do it while you under my care. Now, when you become a man and you're able to do things on your own, then you can crash out whenever you see, and life is going to teach you a hard lesson as a result of it. It's going to teach you a hard lesson as a result of it. But I don't agree in the fact that you should be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, and you a child. You don't get to make your own decisions. When we start letting children determine what parents are setting the rules for, I care about your advocating. I don't care what your lawsuits are. I don't care what it is that you're saying. You're going to have to do what you're supposed to do. When did we start negotiating with children? And when did parents start letting children tell them what it is that they wanted to do? I don't care how cool you think you are. I don't care who you listening to. But listen, I'm a different guy. I come from a different environment. And the best thing that ever happened to me in my adolescent life was my father making a sacrifice, not buying a new car, and sending me to that school for 2 years. It completely changed my life, and it changed the trajectory of my life. And I think that my success and my stick-to-itiveness and my wherewithal and my ability to be able to endure and the characteristics of what a man is supposed to be has carried with me my entire adult life. It was the best experience that I ever had in my entire life. Ever. And I'm not going for this BS that he's talking about on this platform, talking about it makes him feel closer to his people. Man, shut up, bro. Shut up. You are not Jake Scully. And you doing it because you think it looks sweet. And the minute that you let one person break the rules, you basically open a door for the devil to kick in the door and do what he want to do. You cannot, under any circumstance, let people decide and tell you what you gonna do when they the ones that's depending on you in order to get taught in the first place. Either you're gonna do it the way that we set it up, or you can go and find somewhere else to go. That's it. That's it. And so that's where I stand personally. I know a lot of people probably disagree because you want to make sure that you do it the way that you want to do it. Listen, that's cool. I don't get rid of people just because they have a difference of opinion. I welcome differences of opinion. So if you have a different perspective, be sure to show up on After Hours tonight, and then you can tell me and you can hold me accountable, and then hopefully we can come to some conclusion, or maybe I'll change my mind. But until then, I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it either, even a little bit. Listen, man, y'all need a strong male figure in y'all life to get y'all out of y'all feminine energy. Y'all need a strong, and when I say strong, I mean a strong male figure in your life in order to get you out of your feminine energy. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing that y'all really, really, really believe that y'all doing the right thing and y'all really standing on this. Maybe you believe it makes sense for y'all naming y'all daughters Bonquisha because it makes you closer to your ancestors too. No, all it's going to do is make you closer to the unemployment line when you can't get a job. Keep on putting fruits and berries in your hair just because he did it on Coming to America. No, you need a comb and a brush. My hair is filled with juices and berries. It needs soap, water, conditioner, shampoo, a brush, and a comb. Preferably a hot one. Get them cuckabugs out the back of their head. And shave your armpits too while you at it. It hold a lot of must in there. Keep seeing these women on TikTok talking about I don't take no shower because it's gonna mess with my pH levels. You stink. You stink. You stank and you nasty. Keep on messing up my pH balance so I only take one shower a week. No. I got a feeling that we're going to have some uncomfortable conversations on After Hours tonight, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Before I get to the last, I'm going to read the super chat shortly. Well, let's just read them right now while we at it. Skip it. Let's get to it. Next Level MF says, let me gangsta boo spot on the coaching call. Man, I got a waiting list of people that's trying to get on the coaching call, and I make waves for you when you over here trolling like a fool. A Dunn 920 says, Anton with the Infinities. Man, I done turned into a really soft person in 2024. I've been very, very, very lenient. Shout out to Ray Ray. Said, the father is my friend Pookie, so you already know. Hold on. Let me remove this real quick. I want to make sure that I see it completely. Shout out to you, Ray Ray, Pookie friend Ray Ray. Chris Moore says, love Anton, but Lions going down, down, down. Red team. Oh, listen, you can pray for it. You can wish for it. Doesn't matter. We coming for everything. Greg Charlie says, I went to a middle school in the Detroit area called Old Redford, and they made me cut my hair at 11 years old. It was an all-black school. Sometimes it's just dress code and structure. Yo, we need Mr. Clark in these schools. From Lean On Me. We need Mr. Clark in these schools. Shout out to the serial intellectual. Came through with the 20 ball. I appreciate you, my friend. You are much appreciated. Donnie says, hair has always been an issue for black people. I call bullshit. Bullshit. Keep on talking about their hair. How they always talking about their hair, but I see more black people with wigs on every day. I see more black people with more chemicals and wigs on, but y'all ancestors wasn't rocking that. How come y'all ancestors didn't do all of the things that y'all keep trying to tell me that y'all feel closer to y'all people? But every time that I wake up and I turn on my Instagram, I see a chick that look like this. Please stop. Seriously. Every time I turn on my Instagram, I see a girl keep talking like this. Are those eyelashes also a part of y'all culture? Did y'all do those? What about them lip injections? What about them BBLs? Is that also a part of your culture? What about them tattoos across your eyelashes? Girl, that's a part of his culture. This is a part of his culture. Hey. Did they have red hair dye in Africa? What the bumba clock? What the bumba clock? What the bumba clock? Keep having them baby hairs. You ain't been a baby in 50 years. I turned on the live stream. Read it to see me. I turned on the live stream yesterday. I said, who is this hood rat on my screen? Because, I like to browse through and see what the new live streams was. What was that chick's name? Tokyo Tony. I said, Jesus. And she was just being ratchet as she wanted to be. I said, get me up out of here, bro. Get me up out of here. Lord help me. Shout out to A.R. Smitty. Says, shout out to the Mercy High School, Cass Renaissance King, and DSA. Yes. You got it right. You got it right. Tim Stepney says, thank you, sir. Did you see the Breakfast Club interview with Vivek? Charlemagne is a fool. I have not seen it yet. I told y'all that was a dying platform, didn't I? Eugene Miller says, you are preaching today. Where's my fan hand up? Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. Praise. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I got in the car with Rita the other day, and her phone automatically connected to the Apple Care. It said, Israel Houghton. I said, uh-oh. What's next? The Clark sisters? Yes. I said, I got me a praying woman. Long as I got King G. I was about to start shouting too. What? I don't need nobody else. Shirley Clark and the Clark sisters.
That is not her name.
What's her name?
Shirley Caesar.
Shirley Caesar and the Clark sisters. Next thing you know, Fred Hammond came on.
Yes.
Every time I get in the car, the first thing, I think she be setting that junk up to try to seem like she more holy than she really is.
No, that's me.
Every time it be on some gospel singer.
That's all I listen to.
Then when I made a mistake and came home early one day and I heard what she was listening to, she was listening to Yo Gotti. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. Yes. Listen, even Rita gives chameleon vibes also. When I get in the car with her, it's gospel music. When I came home a little early, it was Yo Gotti. What's the Yo Gotti song that you like? What's the name of it?
It's the one with Nicki Minaj.
Yo Gotti and Nicki Minaj. What's the name of that song? Somebody in the chat. Break It. I said break it. What is it?
I think it's Break It Up.
Rake It Up. I came in the bathroom. She was twerking. I said, who is Hoppo? Who is this woman? Who is this woman? Why are you twerking? She had a costume to go with it too. I said, Jesus Christ.
Here we go.
I said, what is this? Rake It Up. This don't sound like Fred Hammond. This don't sound like Fred Hammond. Oh, Jesus. Yes, she was playing Yo Gotti. I said, this is a part of your list? And then the next song, I looked at the next song up. I said, no, don't stop it. Play the next song. She was playing Geeked Up. Geeked Up, Geeked Up, Geeked Up. I'm geeked up. I can't make it on my own. I'm geeked up. Oh. Help me, help me, help me. I said, who is this woman, Harpo? And what have you done in my home? And what is all this twerking inside? Help me, help me, help me. Coffee Beezy, you know the big meal. Renegotiation, need another 3 mil. Can't you see I'm froze? Or at least keep looking at me. Make it hard for a G. Slide through Bankhead. I said, what is happening here? I said, it'll be wild in this house. You might get a little bit of Israel and then you might get a little bit of Yo Gotti. I don't know what's happening out here in these streets. Let me continue through the super chats. We got one more thing in order to go. We got one more thing that we got to get through. Help me, help me, help me, help me. I got to read some more super chats, y'all. Give me a second. Give me a second. Good God. This is a different type of morning show. Shout out to Eugene Miller. I appreciate you for continuing to hold me down. The Jawan Hart is in the building, says public schools are such a nightmare today, AD. I agree with you, bro. I know what it's like. I didn't spoke in some of these schools. Sammy Danko says, been a fan since 2020. Woo, long time. Would you ever consider living in and investing in California if some of the laws changed? No. But partially, it's not just because of California. It's also because I just intimately know the Metro Detroit area. I think that as an investor, especially in real estate, you need to invest in the spaces that you know and understand. That is one of the biggest mistakes that people make is getting in a real estate game early. Prince Elian says everyone needs BSD boundaries, structure, and discipline. My parents and mentors taught me that. I teach it forward to folks I lead. I like that. I teach it forward. I like that. Mentor and work with. Shout out to Prince Elian in the building. Performance Chip says he should have his hair and he should have taken his hair and his talents elsewhere. And I guess the district is not going to miss you. Another meetup in Miami down the road. Yes, it is. And then my dog Empire Foundation says, I be that pappy. I be that baby. Shout out to all of my people that watch Life. All right, we got one more thing that we need to go through. Again, I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. Let me see what we got. Oh, we got to get to the money. So, Oakland businesses won't even let their employees. I'm sorry, Anthony, I got you. Oakland businesses won't even let their employees leave out of the building for lunch anymore. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, turn on your notifications, and let's get it popping, yo. It's crazy out here in these streets, all right?
Do not leave the building at lunch. KTV has learned that Kaiser Permanente is telling its workers at its headquarters in downtown Oakland to stay inside, and it's all about worries over crime. The message comes after some Kaiser employees were robbed as they went to get something to eat. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Meeback.
New at 6 tonight, our crime reporter Henry Lee tells us, well, it's a message about staying safe. Many disagree with what Kaiser is doing, including businesses that depend on those workers.
It's just kind of scary in general, not even just to go to work, but just kind of coming outside.
Ariel Crenshaw works for Kaiser Permanente, Oakland's largest private employer. The health plan has directed workers in Oakland to stay in their offices for work and lunch because of concerns over crime. Workers are being told to bring their own food or have it delivered.
I do agree.
Why?
Because just their safety for their employees. You know, if you can work at home, work at home. If you have to come in, just be safe about it.
In a memo issued last month and obtained by KTVU, Kaiser also tells workers not based in Oakland, don't have any meetings downtown, move them elsewhere, or have them online.
That's insane. Of all of the things that I've ever heard in my entire life, that companies have to be so vigilant, in and out, moved out. In and out, moved out. Companies, large companies that have buildings where people have to come in are saying, do not park your car, don't have meetings downtown. I've never heard of a company say, don't even have meetings downtown. Move your meetings elsewhere. I did not know that Oakland was that dangerous. I mean, you always hear of the Bay, you hear E. Fonzarelli, Filthy Rich. It's filthy. AMG 63. God is good. He keep on blessing me. Can't get the devil get the best of me. 200,000 on that AMG 63. I mean, a day later than a dollar short. Chain 100,000, not a dollar more. I have never heard of businesses ever in my entire life say you should not leave the building if you come here for lunch because it's too dangerous outside in the daytime in downtown. And if you got a meeting and you're not from here, don't even come downtown, move that meeting elsewhere. They basically forcing everybody to work from home.
It also says the Claremont Hotel in the Hills is the only hotel approved for business lodging. In a statement, Kaiser said in part, those recommendations remain in place for now. Kaiser Permanente is committed to ensuring the safety and security of our employees and physicians across all of our locations. We continually monitor our environments for concerns, review our practices, and strengthen them whenever possible. Many downtown merchants and other people who live and work in the area are taking issue with these directives.
And it is a little upsetting to hear that, because, everyone's trying to thrive, everyone's trying to, make business, it is pretty slow as it is.
I don't think you want to discourage people from walking around and kind of give in to the bad elements that are running around. I think quite the opposite. I think if there are more people on the streets, there will be less incidences.
I think it's overkill. Trauma's trauma, but to live under a rock because something bad might happen is traumatizing in itself.
Until it happens to you. Until it happens to your liberal hair. Until it happens to you. Listen, I don't believe that In-N-Out Burger would close an entire profitable location that they've had open for 18 years. And Raising Cane's is over there and they closed their entire inside and they only do drive-through because they don't want people to even get out of their cars. Would do so if it was safe for the people that are around there. These places is not doing it. They're not closing just because they're going out of business. They closing because it's not safe to do business. And they don't want to put the people that work there in jeopardy. They had to put a whole fence up and have armed security that have assault rifles walking around in the parking lot just to protect the employees' cars.
Own way as well.
It would be a policy to destroy Oakland. Having a large corporation tell them to stay in the building.
Look at this crazy man. Oakland, I got to bring y'all to the front of the congregation. What in God's name is happening out here? What in the world? Look at this nonsense. Is Jesus Christ. Look at Revenge of the Nerds. They let him out.
It would be a policy to destroy Oakland. Having a large corporation tell them to stay in the building and bring lunch from home is atrocious.
Look at this man. Look at what y'all did to Oakland. He has no hair at the top, a front patch, and sides galore. No hair at the top, just a front patch here, sides galore. His prescription glasses are safety glasses. You know, with the sides, we used to have to wear them when we worked inside of the plant. I know how it go. Look at this man. Listen, this guy is one step away from inviting you back to his home, and then you winding up in his refrigerator. Listen, I don't trust this man as far as I can throw him. He looks one step away from inviting you home. They got a Netflix special on him. He one step away from inviting you to his home, and then you ending up in his refrigerator. This look crazy.
So it's clear safety is in the eye of the beholder. It's not clear if these directives from Kaiser will be permanent or not. In Oakland.
But let's go over to Oakland's mayor. Do y'all know who Oakland's mayor is? Yes, this is Oakland's mayor. I forgot what her name is. Let me figure it out.
And in Alameda County, hundreds of volunteers were out on the streets early this morning taking an annual census of the county's homeless population. That data will help the county secure funding and resources to help the unhoused. But it's not a simple head count.
Hey, y'all notice how we got to use different words? Unhoused, unalived, not homeless, not none of that. It's the unhoused.
Volunteers also trying to tally those who suffer from substance abuse or mental health problems. Joining me live now, Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao. Mayor, you were out there yourself this
Wait, what was her name? Hold on. Give me a second.
Joining me live now, Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao. Mayor, you were out there yourself this morning. Do you...
Even y'all mayor is a Mortal Kombat character? Is this a bad joke? Is this a parody channel? This is a news channel. I did not. Y'all mayor is named after a Mortal Kombat character. Shout out to Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung is about to give us. I heard that they was trying to recall Shang Tsung over there in Oakland. I heard that they was trying to recall. I've been in the house too long, y'all. I gotta get out. Let me out.
think that those numbers are going to go up or down from the last count?
Well, let me start off by just saying that my thoughts and prayers are with the deputy that was shot. In regards to the count, we are expecting to see an increase for multiple different reasons. One of the strongest reason is because in 2022, when this count was last conducted, it was more from I would like to call it a bird's eye point of view, where we weren't actually connecting with people one-on-one and asking questions.
No, look at that in Oakland. What is that monstrosity? What is that board? Look, bro, look. I don't want nobody, and I mean 0 people, to ever have anything else to say about Detroit. What I see happening in these liberal cities over there in Philadelphia, Chicago, Oakland, man, don't say nothing. Just keep our name out of your mouth, because look at this nonsense. You know, I almost, if Rita wasn't over there throwing it back inside of the bathroom to Yo Gotti and Israel Holton, do you know that I strongly considered taking a trip over to San Francisco to go to the Lions game? And then I thought to myself, no way I'm going over there to San Francisco. Look at that craziness. This is the United States of America. This is a major American city.
But we were looking from afar due to the pandemic and guesstimating how many people were, let's say, in an RV, in a vehicle, or in an encampment. And so we will see that this is a more accurate number, and this accurate number will be able to utilize to draw down resources from the state and the federal government. But I do intend on seeing an increase.
Okay, and what can the city do?
She said all of that just to say it's going to be an increase in the amount of homeless people that they do in their census survey.
This ever increasing problem.
You're right. There needs to be more connectivity with cities and counties. Each of us, we hold different pots of funding that comes down from the state and the federal level. I think that there needs to be more flexibility with cities being able to utilize their dollars so that we can put it into infrastructure or wraparound services. But it'll take all of us, from more Section 8 vouchers tied to housing.
Oh, more social services. Let's tax more, raise the taxes on the middle class and rich people so that we can put even more mismanaged money into social services. Even more money to be mismanaged, to go into social services that does nothing to solve for the problem, only to open up our borders and to be giving it away to people that don't even know us. They can't even speak the language. More money going to social services. Send more money. Tax more. Tax the rich. Eat the rich.
For the ability to actually put in modular housing for immediate, so that we can see our immediate returns, making sure that families and children are being housed. We have our transitional age youth we're seeing that are sleeping from couch to couch too, and so there are multiple different variables that we have to really start implementing the groundwork now so that we can see relief in the near future.
All right, that certainly would be welcome. Let's talk about the city's crime problem now. Recently, the Hegenberger corridor has been getting a lot of attention. We had the In-N-Out announcing plans to close, and the city talking about stepping up police patrols in the area. But we've been talking with business owners and workers who say they just don't feel safe there. What is the solution to that? What is the city going to do to try to keep businesses in Oakland?
Well, last week I was at the White House meeting with the leadership of the newly established Office of Gun Violence Prevention to discuss federal support for the city of Oakland.
Have y'all noticed that every single mayor has traveled to the White House over the last 2 months? Every single major city mayor has traveled to the White House over the last 2 months. And you know what else I noticed? Detroit is awesome. Because at least we got all 4 of our sports teams playing within our city. Every city that I look at, San Francisco, I just seen somebody in the chat that said that in San Francisco, the team play an hour away. They're just using the name. I know that over there, America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, don't even play in Dallas. America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, don't even play in Dallas. None of these teams actually play in the cities that they represent. None of these teams. They all play outside of the city limits, and some suburb is actually the ones that's benefiting from a tax dollars perspective. from the teams. None of these teams actually even play and live in the city.
One of the strategies that was of mutual interest was Operation Ceasefire. As you know, we were able, right when my first year coming in, I found the money to actually put forward an audit. And so now we have the product of the audit, and it stated in the states that, there are many things that have been undone that was actually working when we saw a huge decrease between 2012 and 2019 of homicides and property crimes. And so I'm proud to announce that we are resurrecting this strategy, and for multiple different reasons. In the previous administration, the strategy was broken apart a little bit, and mainly be due to the pandemic. The pandemic did cause a lot of, different things to untangle. And so what we're doing under this administration is we're going to move forward.
Ma'am. Let me tell you what the pandemic did. The pandemic just pulled everybody's pants down and exposed them for what it is that they are. They found out that the king is not wearing no clothes. That's what the pandemic did. All the pandemic did was accelerate what was already going bad in the first place. And the fact that people didn't have to go into the cities, it basically exposed you and showed you exactly what it is that was happening out here in these streets, man. It was horrible. It was horrible. So, Oakland, man, I'm getting all of these articles about y'all. Everything is messed up. They telling the employees, don't even come outside, don't go downtown, don't have no meetings, no nothing. And then I see people in the chat say, it's not that bad. You won't get robbed if you just stay on the left side of the street. Man, listen, bro. I told y'all, all of these liberal policies and letting the inmates out and defund the police. Where is all of the people that's been protesting that was saying defund the police? Where are all of the people that was saying defund the police? I don't see nobody. I don't see anything but a whisper now. Nobody got nothing to say on the defund the police front because don't nobody want to defund the police all of a sudden. Where they at though? Where they at though? Where are all of the advocates that was distracted during the pandemic on things that didn't even matter in the first place? And now everybody want to be quiet. Where they at though? Where everybody at though? See, nobody saying nothing. Everybody just so happened to disappear. Crazy. Out of y'all mind. Anyways, let me read some of the super chats and then we're going to get it popping. First of all, let me order my DoorDash because I want an acai bowl, and Anton is not trying to be out here in these streets traveling to just go with an acai bowl. Actually, I do need to go outside in these streets, but we'll get there. Submitting your order. Completed. All right, let me go ahead and read some of these super chats. Again, I am planning, well, first of all, for the Patreon members and the bag chasers, we will be doing Stock Club on Sunday. All right, so I'm going to be posting that inside of the Patreon. And then last but not least, I'm anticipating doing Fight Club, after hours tonight. Anthony Boom says 80 about to get me fired with them F-bombs. Woosah. No. Don't fire Anthony Boom, y'all. We like Ant. The Great Way says just because you sung long as I got King Jesus. Long as I got King Jesus. I don't need nobody else. When we was in church, we used to loop it. Bitcoin Brown says, Israel Halton, Yo Gotti is wild but respectable. Shout out to the Daniels family. Shout out to you, Israel. And I got your message too, Bitcoin. Stay away from that cryptocurrency if you don't understand it. The Carolinas own DJ K Smooth said that geeked up. Get the dance floor packed though. Even when I'm DJing for white and Hispanic folk, rock that joint, sister Rita. Don't encourage her, DJ K Smooth. Kicking it with the chefs in the building says, tell Rita real hot girl, oh my God, we twerk at the kitchen sink, not in the clubs, on the couches. I give you that though. I give you that, chef. All right. Because she be, help me, help me. Be like, I can't make it on my own. I'm geeked up. Renegotiation need another $3 million. Guy the Baddie says they are taking away your First Amendment rights. Stop censoring yourself. Guy the Baddie also says she's Chinese. Ni kwe shro potong kwama? Wall kwe shro ibiard potong kwa. Wall shoda bu hao. Wall shoda bu hao. She's Chinese. That's your red flag. The dictator of China went to California. If you voted for Biden and this is what you're voting for, you vote for Trump. You vote for more jobs in America and the U.S. Who else speak Chinese? Mandarin specifically in the chat. Not Cantonese. Mandarin. Potong kwa. Potong kwa ma. That's how you ask a question. E-Boy 893 says Kaiser Permanente does the transit. Oh, really? Really? Oh, really? Donnie says, oh, really? Donnie says, remember Keith Lee talked about restaurants in the Bay? Yeah, I remember that. He was talking about that last week. Shout out to Donnie. Counselor Mr. G says, watch your mouth, Anton. The Bulls still play in the United Center. The Cubs still play at Wrigley. The Stocks still play at the Cellular. The Bears at Soldier. Soldier boy. Soldier boy, tell him. A conundrum is in the building, says, see the migrant call black Chicago woman lazy and say, no more money for you. Shout out to my baby girl. Oh, you looking cute. You must be at work on your profile picture. I like that profile picture. Sister. Shout out to Sister, says, Mr. AD, can we discuss annual meetings in Stock Club? Apple's meeting is coming, and we will be discussing Apple's meeting coming up soon in Stock Club. Absolutely, we can discuss whatever it is that you want to discuss about stock. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Listen, y'all have made this one of the most enjoyable shows in the world. In the world. One of the most enjoyable shows. Somebody said, what did Anton say? Ni kwe shwa potong kwama. Do you speak Mandarin? Wa kwe shwa idiard potong kwa. I speak Mandarin. I speak it. Wa shwa da bu hao. I'm a little bit rusty, but I can speak it. I can get my point across and communicate effectively with the people that I needed to talk to. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Talk to him. Talk to him. Yeah. Donnie says, put your money on Baltimore and the 49ers. Ooh, we got some haters in the chat. We got some haters in the chat. Listen, at least half of the United States of the Americas is rooting for the Lions. Why do we have haters in the chat? You know what I'm saying? Why do we got haters in the chat? That's all right. That's all right. We gonna fix that. We gonna fix it. We gonna fix it. Just like we fix in Oakland. And we fix Gangster of Love today. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to pivot. I'm about to stop studying Mandarin Chinese anyway, and I'm about to start studying Spanish because that's what everybody speak now. Everybody's speaking Spanish now that come on over here anyway. So we got to make sure that we both speak Spanish and American right now. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Phenomenal show. Leslie is home from school. Come, my child. Come, my child. It's okay. That's all right. Your book bag is huge. What happened to the other book bag?
I took it off because I changed it.
Hey, look, Mike, let's see.
Oh, you too.
All right, baby. My baby is home from school, and so I have to spend quality time with the family. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I need you to do me one more favor before we get up out of here today, all right? Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. Yeah, we're going to try to get it in tonight and get it popping. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.